name is Dr. Mongoose, and I'm not a doctor, but I play one on the internet, bringing you today my own take on the recent patch notes and nerf that came out of Treyarch yesterday, as well as an update video before Dallas. Starting out with Dallas, just because it is a little bit easier and a little bit shorter. I will be going to Dallas this weekend, obviously, for MLG, for the MLG tournament, and this will probably be my last video before heading off to Dallas. It'll be a little bit more difficult, just with my school schedule, with homework, with getting everything packed, to be able to get another video out before I leave. Also, I'll be taking pictures, I'll be taking video, and I'll be starting either once I get back a little vlog series and series of videos about my trip to Dallas. And if I can, and the internet in the hotel is decent enough, I might be able to do like a little daily update sort of thing. It really depends on what you guys are feeling, or what you guys want to do. But otherwise, this will probably be the last you hear of me before I'm actually in Dallas, and I'm at the tournament, things are getting started, all that sort of stuff. Now the second thing and the main part of this video is the recently released patch for Black Ops leading into this weekend. And the big thing is that it was announced that the patch will be used at MLG. Now this caused a lot of uproar in the competitive community, because the game has essentially changed, I wouldn't say drastically, but there's been a large enough change to the competitive side of things, or to weapons and balance around the competitive side of things, that it can be an issue. And some of those, there are really, I think, 3 big changes. Well, 4, but I combined 2 into 3. And that is that there is an MSMC PDW nerf. Those are like the 2 I've combined. There is the Cap 40 nerf, and there is a readjustments of spawns on standoff. Now we're going to talk about all of them. First one being the MSMC PDW nerf. As far as I know, and this is also a brief statement, is I'm not going to be talking about numbers. I'm going to be talking more about my personal, how this feels for me sort of thing. If you want a video on numbers, Drifter released a great video giving just a number by number breakdown, rather than this is kind of like how I feel more towards the competitive side of things. He's talking about the patch in its entirety, so I'll link that video. It's a really great video. That will give you just like a straight number by number breakdown if you're interested in that sort of thing. But there was a PDW MSMC nerf, and what they did was they increased the recoil, and they increased the recoil on both guns, so that it's I don't know what I wouldn't say their intention is to make it harder, but it's a gun, it's a way to balance the gun, because you have a fast moving, fast firing, very high damage output gun that is it makes it, you have 2 guns that will outclass the other SMGs in almost every category, except for specific moments, like a Scorpion up close, or a Vector up close, or a Chi-Com in super close range, X, Y, or Z. These are a more dominant gun. So especially at long ranges, which is what really outclassed, which really made these guns outclass other SMGs and sometimes even ARs, is that it had really good range. So to nerf that, instead of reducing the range or doing things like that, they made it just so that you have more recoil at range. And if you're paying attention to this video at all, especially with that great suicide right there, if you're paying attention to this video at all, you'll see some of the longer range shots, even from just like from across one side of Zen into pillars earlier in the game. You'll see that the recoil is definitely a lot more prevalent. It's not suddenly this is like an LMG that just goes up into the air, but it's definitely there's more recoil to the gun. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I believe the recoil in the PDW is actually slightly more increased because it has a larger magazine. But it's not that bad. It's very usable. Longer range shots will be slightly more difficult, but I'm fine with that. I think increasing the skill gap is nothing but a good thing, as long as it's done logically. So that's one thing. The second nerf is the Cap 40 nerf. This is for akimbo Cap 40s only. Single shot Cap 40s. This doesn't affect at all. What has happened is that they reduced the, I believe they reduced the range of the akimbo Cap 40s, and secondly, they reduced the hipfire accuracy of the akimbo Cap 40s. I've played around with it a little bit. I'm not the best with Cap 40s to begin with, so I might not be the best person in the world to do this, but it doesn't seem like it's a nerf that really has too much effectiveness, in my personal opinion. I'm running into people who are still, you know, they're not necessarily sniping me with them, but they are, you know, they're still hitting, you know, every single annoying shot that you would hit with the Kimbo Cat 40. It's just as big of a problem as it was before this patch. I mean, certainly it is slightly somewhat better. You know, I'm not getting sniped with them anymore, but it's not a good thing. It's still, you know, not good. And this only affects a Kimbo Cat 40. So, you know, okay, if a Kimbo Cat 40s are now, you know, quote unquote not usable, or they're not, you know, the up close king, just you can switch to a Kimbo B23Rs because they have the range, they're just as good, and they just fire slightly less faster. So, you know, while I applaud the attempt of Treyarch to, you know, nerf things towards the competitive side, this nerf is not enough, and I think that, and I'm in agreement with a lot of people, that I think just an outright ban of Akimbo pistols in general is, you know, what's necessary for a competitive play. However, you know, that's not the subject of this video, but, you know, that, from my personal subjective opinion, the Cat 40s, nothing too crazy has changed. You know, there's like a maybe there, it feels like, you know, maybe like 10 feet shorter you won't be able to hit people, or there's a bit of a range difference when it comes to, you know, you're not going to be hitting shots from like one end of, you know, mid court on slums to blue court on slums. Like, you know, you won't be hitting those shots, but you can still hit it from, you know, like the doorway to mid court, from mid to, you know, blue court and all that sort of stuff. So it's better, but it's not fixed in any way, in my opinion. Finally comes the standoff changes for spawns. I have played, you know, a couple games of standoff. I'm not seeing a huge difference. Like, you know, certain spawns are slightly more weighted than the others. Like, there's a slight change. But I'm not, you know, seeing this big drastic change. I think the biggest outcry was that, you know, you're essentially changing a spawn system we've known since day one, 2 days before a tournament. And that's a big problem for competitive players, because so much strategy revolves around knowing spawns, setting up first spawns. Okay, if you kill them all on one side, you know they're going to spawn on the other, so you can take the flag through there. Or, you know, on a hardpoint game, it's like, okay, I'm anchoring this spawn. They will only be able to come through A or B entrances into, you know, into my area. So that's a big change when it comes to competitive gamers, is because our strategies are built around spawns. Our strategies are built, you know, to predict spawns, and spawns have to be somewhat predictable enough that we're going to be able to do this. So it's an outcry in the sense that, yes, you know, it's a bad thing to change spawns, you know, shift spawns so, you know, close to a tournament. And while I find it annoying, I haven't noticed too much of a difference. Most strategies seem that they will still work. I'm not seeing, you know, like some shift, like suddenly if you kill everyone in red packages and then pull the flag through red, they're suddenly going to spawn, like, you know, just barely outside red tractor, or if you kill them like in bottom red, they'll spawn on tractor, you know, as you're pulling the flag through there. It's nothing too drastic. I mean, you might get a little bit of spawn differentiation if they're, you know, are like 2 up or 3 up. But overall, you know, it's not terrible as far as I've seen. I could be wrong. This is all subjective. Something I missed on the PDW and MSMC, and I apologize about this. The hipfire's been nerfed. So the hipfire has been nerfed again. This was a nerf that happened with, like, I think the second weapons patch, but that has been the case for a while. Well, guys, I'll see you after Dallas. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, guys, check out MajorLeagueGaming.com this weekend to watch me compete. I hope you all have a lovely day, and please remember to watch 2 of my videos and call me in the morning.